Fields Arboretum State Historic Park is located in Oyster Bay, and it is comprised of 409 acres of greenhouses, rolling lawns, formal gardens, outstanding plant collections, and over 4,000 different types of trees and shrubs. It's a really beautiful place to visit, and especially beautiful right now with all the great magnolias in bloom. Here to tell us about some of the trees is the Arboretum's director, Vincent Simeone. I'm so glad you could come.
Thank you.
So glad. And Vinny said he just loves the audience because he calls you his peeps.
You're my peeps.
Yeah, you're his peeps because he's one of you peeps too, right? You're one of my peeps.
Excellent.
Yes,
Excellent.
you are.
That's great.
Well, tell us about the tree collection at Planting Fields.
We have a very diverse collection. We've been collecting the trees for a long time, and so we have over 4,000 different types of trees. We have 13 Long Island champion trees and several state champions, so it's really a nice collection.
What's a champion tree?
A champion tree would be the largest tree of its species in the area.
Oh my gosh. So. And like, which is your biggest tree?
Well, our tallest tree is a tulip tree, which is over 110 feet tall, so it's pretty big.
Yeah, really big.
Really nice tree.
And the fattest tree, the biggest in diameter?
Well, the fattest tree is one of our beech trees, which is 17 feet in circumference, so we have a lot of really big trees.
We have some beautiful photographs of the...
yes, these are Yoshino cherries that are now in bloom. Aren't those nice? Yep.
Now, if you haven't been out to this place, it's not far from New York City, and it is definitely worth
We're in Oyster Bay, New York, so we're in Western Nassau County.
And you have specific times. I mean, the camellias are past.
Right.
But then come the magnolias.
Magnolias are first, then the cherries, then dogwoods and crab apples.
Okay.
So, and rhododendrons.
Yeah,
so.
Incredible, incredible. And you could go every week and see something completely different.
Yes, yes.
So, and this weekend is your Arbor Day celebration. What goes on? We
have one of the largest and oldest Arbor Day festivals in the state, and actually we've been doing it, this is our 23rd annual. It's this weekend, the 25th and 26th.
Are you ready?
We have over, yeah, we're ready. We have, our staff is ready. We have over 10,000 people coming, and we have environmental programs, we have tree planting ceremonies, we have a lot of different events. Smokey Bear will be there.
Oh, so, yeah? What kind of trees are you planting?
We're planting dogwoods and we're planting cercidophyllums, katsura trees.
Oh, I love katsuras.
Yeah. Nice?
I love them, yes. So we visited the Arboretum earlier this week and shot some beautiful footage of some of the magnolias that are in bloom.
Yeah,
now,
this was actually a nice cloudy day.
Size. Yeah, tell us what we're looking at.
This is the collection, which comprises about 100 different species and varieties, some yellows, some whites, pinks. And they'll start blooming in early April, go all the way through the end of April and into early May. So
incredible.
Yeah, some beautiful yellows.
Yeah.
So we have a wide variety of colors.
Oh, what's
that? That one is almost 5 inches long, that one. Isn't that nice? That's ballerina. And that's the saucer magnolia there. So it's really a very diverse collection, which magnolias are very delicate.
Almost like a rose.
It does, it does.
What is that tree?
Yeah, that's the Elizabeth magnolia, which is the yellow, one of my favorite yellows. And you can just see the mist in the background.
And you can see the whole mist, the backdrop of other kinds of trees. Well, show us some of these magnolia branches.
Yes, I did bring some branches. They're actually very delicate magnolias, and it's been a great season for them, though. This is the Elizabeth magnolia, which is fragrant, has a lemony fragrance, and it's sort of a creamy yellow. It's one of my favorites. I think it's one of the most vigorous yellows. Yellows are real popular. This is butterflies, which is a much more golden yellow, much smaller flower. But it's a little bit later than Elizabeth and some of the other ones.
Very, very pretty blossom, though.
This is the very common star magnolia, which is sort of a frilly star.
And that's commonly available.
Commonly available, one of the first to bloom. So
butterflies, that's not so common.
No, it isn't.
But Elizabeth's like the common yellow to buy now. That's good.
Yep.
Now
this is the Ulan magnolia, Magnolia denudata, which is one of the parents of the saucer magnolia, and that is the biggest, boldest.
Look at the size of these flowers. I mean, these are gigantic. And that's called the denudata?
Denudata, that's the Ulan magnolia.
I love that.
And then this is the common saucer magnolia. It looks like a cup and saucer, and a beautiful pink. It ranges in colors, and also very fragrant. Pretty large tree, actually. You have to have room for this because it's 30 to 40 feet tall. Yeah,
but if you start with trees, I buy trees about this big.
They'll eventually get big.
And someday, you know, all of us serious gardeners, we're not adverse to starting a little tree, but
absolutely.
It does take.
And we have a lot of young magnolias started too. This is one of my favorites. This is Leonard Mezel, which is a beautiful pink. It starts off a rosy pink and then fades to a lighter pink.
And the whole branch is covered with blooms like this?
Every square inch of this tree is covered.
That is gorgeous.
Really a very vigorous tree too. Magnolias grow fast, so it's really.
This is
one called. This is a saucer magnolia called Lenii, and it's actually dark rose on the outside and more of a lighter pink inside.
And pale.
Pale inside. Yes.
Don't tell anybody.
We'll just make sure that doesn't fall. But,
sort of a whitish pink.
Whitish pink inside, right?
So Lenii.
Right, Lenii, and
where is that from?
That is, well, that's a hybrid. That's a hybrid,
okay.
and that's one very close relative to the saucer. And then this one is one called part of the Little Girl series, which came out of the U.S. National Arboretum. This is Susan. There's Ricky. There's Randy. There's several ladies' names, and it's a fairly dwarf magnolia that only gets about 10 or 15 feet tall, 12 feet tall, and has a nice deep rosy pink to it.
Now,
as
you
well.
didn't bring any dark burgundy color ones.
This is pretty dark. Some of the Little Girl series, like Ricky and Randy, are very dark. They're almost dark purple.
Yeah,
Galaxy is a dark purple. So there are some really vibrant ones.
So what is the what do you have to do to take care of a magnolia?
Well, they're actually fairly adaptable. They need moist, well-drained soil. They like moisture. They don't like dry. They don't like wind. They need a rich soil. Even a clay loam soil is okay. They just don't like very sandy soils. And if you do have a sandy soil, you want to amend the soil with some compost or manure or something.
Yeah,
but
make it a little heavier.
Make it a little heavier.
Water retention.
Right. And as far as light, full sun or partial shade is fine. Too much shade is not good, but full sun is.
Now you've brought
fine.
no grandifloras. The grandifloras are
no,
not...
they'll bloom much later. They're going to bloom in June and July. So
those are the ones with the big shiny leaves that are green on one side and brown on the other.
Yes.
And they're adapting to the Northeast very well.
Just fine.
Do you think that's because of global warming?
You know, some of the newer varieties actually will last into zone 5, which is like Chicago. So they've actually, I think we're just testing them more now.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Well, when we come back, Vinny's going to show us how to plant a tree. So stay with us. Welcome back. I'm here with the Director of Planting Fields, Arboretum State Historic Park, Vincent Simeone, and he's going to give us some tips on planting trees. So, first of all, how do you decide where you should plant?
Well, that's the most important thing. Site selection is very important. First, you have to decide what species you're actually planting, of course, know what species you're planting, and ultimately how far does it grow?
Right. Know how big they grow,
How big does it grow? How large does it get? How wide does it spread?
So many people plant like a beech tree right on the corner of their home.
And that's one of the biggest miscues. You have to know how big it gets. And then, of course, what kind of light does it like? Do some research. And also what kind of soil
is there one book that if you don't have any other book about trees, you should have?
Well, I think the Manual of Woody Landscape Plants by Michael Durr is the book, you know, but there's many other good books.
We'll put that on our website, but if you don't have it, well, serious gardeners probably all have it in the audience,
of course.
But you at home, if you don't have it, it is a great book, and it's in paperback now.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's really good. So now, these trees.
These are nifty.
Aren't these nifty?
These are great.
That's a good word, nifty.
These are nifty.
Yep. So these trees are saplings, and thanks to the Arbor Day Foundation, everyone in the audience is taking home a tree that's actually appropriate for planting in the Northeast. Now, I have this is a blue spruce, I think they say.
Yes,
yeah, Colorado blue spruce.
I have a noble fir, and of course, you want to take these out. You want to sort of spread the roots a little bit. Just tease them very gently.
So would you put this size right in the ground? Wouldn't you put it in a pot first?
You could, but you know, I prefer to put them in the pot for a year, get them established.
Yeah.
But you have some great soil here, some very fluffy soil. This looks like some pine bark soil and has some compost in it. So you want to.
So you want to plant it right up to the level of the roots, right?
Right. You want to fill this about halfway, and then make sure your seedling is in the right spot, and then put some soil around it. What's also very important is, as you're an expert on this, you want to make sure that you pack the soil around the plant so that there's
no air pockets.
Air pockets, right? And leave a little bit of a lip.
So I always water a little bit before I'm finished, don't you?
Yes, just to pack it down a little bit more. And
want a little water?
I'll have a little water, please. Thank you. Yep, that's great.
Good.
Just pack that down.
So, so this is Liesl Menning, my former assistant, actually gave every guest at her wedding a tree.
That's a great idea.
And I brought them home, and they're doing very well. They're like 3 feet tall now. So I can't wait until I can put those out in the woodland.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is great. Now we have a more mature tree over here.
Yes, this is a larger version, of course. This is a nice, I believe, cherry tree. And of course, when you have a tree this big, you want to make sure it's got a nice straight trunk.
Now, is that a fruiting cherry or a flowering?
No, I think there's a flowering cherry.
Okay.
Yep. And make sure there's no abrasions on the bark. Make sure it's a nice straight trunk, and it is. And of course, this has a pot, so you want to pull the pot out and see if I can do that. And,
so that is good root development.
Yes, and you can use one of these claws, or you could just use your hands. You want to kind of tease these roots out a little bit, and you can kind of see these roots are sort of growing in a circle, so you want to just kind of tease those out a little bit.
You don't want
be gentle.
You don't want girdling roots.
We don't want girdling roots, and also you want to see a root flare. You want to see this swollen area at the base. You want to be able to see it. See, this is too deep.
So that was a little deep.
So we want to just pull that away. Now you can see the root flare a little bit better.
Oh yeah, much better.
You know, and that's kind of what you want to do. And then center it in the hole, or in the pot, either way.
Well, a cherry tree like this, should it be in a pot in this climate? It shouldn't be.
You know, it doesn't have to be. You could certainly put it in a pot.
You could,
but,
and it'll be okay in the winter.
Yes, for a year or two, you could do that.
Okay.
You know, you wouldn't want to do it permanently.
No.
But we're just going to do the same sort of thing with this as we did with the first tree, just a larger version.
And then, oh yeah, and you have to show us how to prune it and everything.
Well, certainly, again, if there's any broken branches or
like
cross
that.
branches.
You don't want that.
You don't want that. You don't want this one here. You just want to make sure that
This is my favorite thing when I plant is to, I'm the trimmer.
Might give me a haircut here.
No, I will not. I'm the trimmer. I take off all the little dead branches. I'm a fanatic, actually. And there, but it's healthier for the tree. It gives it more.
So this is some nice fluffy soil, and you just want to pack this down and keep doing that until you're at the right level.
And water that in really well too, right?
Exactly. So we could do that. We're making a good team here, Martha. We're really moving along.
I'll come out to Arbor Day.
2.5 million trees. We're going to have to team up together. So you kind of see it's at the right height. Have a little bit of a lip here. Could use a little more soil, but you sort of have the idea that.
Now, is it too early to start forming a tree that size?
No, that's never too early.
Never. Oh,
so you want to train the tree when it's very young.
I see. Okay. So this has a few things that have to go.
Yeah,
right?
these should go. You know, we could take this pruner and just take this one off.
Okay.
Remove that.
And leave that one on?
I would leave this on because this is going to sort of balance the tree off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you see, it's not so hard to plant a tree, and all of you out there, please do your part to create that beautiful canopy of green that we so desperately need, and also just help cities too plant trees so the air is cleaner. Thank you so much, Vinny, for all your information, and happy Arbor Day.